Plus I can, if I make this a video instead of an audio recording, I can upload it onto YouTube. Which I would, that would just be another way to put them up. So you can see the statement on the paper there in black, red, and blue letters. It's a famous statement. Jesus' statement of completion after he had suffered on the cross, according to the gospel legends and mythologies, whatever. But this statement came to me about 2 weeks ago. I should say it came through me. I was walking home from the bus stop, and I just felt so whole and so complete that it came out as a roaring yell. I can only imagine any people who heard me must have been like, what the fuck is this dude screaming this shit for? But I didn't really plan on doing it. I didn't really think it was gonna happen or anything. But I just felt it so deeply and I just screamed, "It is finished." Now, what do I mean, it is finished? Does that mean I've reached the highest crescendo of existence, or has my life's purpose been accomplished, or I don't know. I wouldn't characterize it as any of that. That's just kind of grandiose poppycock. But I felt that I found it, what I have called the golden fleece of the ages. And I was walking it. I've been walking it for well over 2 years. And of course this doesn't mean that I have no room for growth or that I won't continue to develop. Nothing like that, because that will happen. Time makes that kind of a requirement. That's just simply the nature of time. Progression, regression happens. You don't just stay stagnant. There's really just no way to stay stagnant. But what did I mean when I was saying it is finished, when I was screaming that out? And there's an easy answer to this. It is finished. The is seems like present tense, but I would put it in a greater tense than that. More than a present tense. A present tense that implies the fullness of the future tense and past tense. The recognition that past and future all exist in the present. That it's one thing. When I said it's finished, what is finished is, for me, the past and the future That's finished. And what I mean by that is not that there is no existential past or any existential future, even though there really is no existential past or future. But besides that, what I mean is that I've come into that present moment, the eternal present moment, which is not just a time and a day. It's not just the time on the clock. When I say it is finished, I mean the travail I have traveled through in time is finished. I only know now. And all my past is now. And all my future is now. There is no more mortality, I guess you would say. We walk in time as though it's something that passes by. But it's not. And physics even shows this. The year, for example, 1980 still exists. That's the year of my birth. But that year still exists in the present. The present is not at all bound by time. Say you got a time machine and you travel back to 1980. 1980's present. If you travel in the future to 2020, 2020 is present. So we see the entire immensity of history going in both directions are all present, here and now. It's a transposition from walking in time to realizing that you are and have always been walking in eternity. Our immortality is not even disputable. Even if you imagine you're only the body, which I obviously don't, but I will indulge those who do imagine that they are only the body. Even if you imagine you're only the body, you exist from, this time to that time. The time periods between which you exist will always exist. And that's not even some spitballing bullshit. It's facts. So when I screamed, "It is finished," what was finished was death. And it's not that I conquered death. It's just that I realized that there was nothing to conquer. If you look really deep in yourself, you're not made of stuff that is temporal. You don't move through temporal things. Temporality is an appearance, not a reality. It's very important, not just to intellectualize or philosophize, but to really feel that truth deep within yourself. is nowhere else to go. There is no greater deeds that need to be done. I mean, you can still do shit. You can still get, you know, you can do whatever the hell you want. But you don't have to have this bane of mortality constantly eating at your heels. And boy, I am no stranger to death at all. I have lost a lot of loved ones. I hesitate using that word lost because it's bullshit. But from a normal human perspective, I have lost a lot of loved ones. But they're never gone. No moment you have ever known will ever stop existing. Now just imagine that you are immortal. Of course, your body is not immortal. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, just like every other story. And what remains to be seen by many, but is starting to come to people's understanding very rapidly, I think. I think there's not a need to be pessimistic. There's just not a need to be pessimistic about anything. Because everything is everything, like Lauryn Hill said. Everything is everything. Really see that. Everything is everything. Existence is immortal. Now, if you buy this linear garbage, the time and any perspective is only bound by the current moment, then you're just in a world of hurt. An unnecessary world of hurt. I want you to know that it is finished. Not just for me. Not only is it finished, but it's always been finished. And will always be finished. For the incomplete nature of time is an illusion. Nothing is incomplete at all. Everything is exactly whole. A lot of people will bring up, what about all the bad shit in the world? If everything's whole, then why is there so much anguish and misery and suffering? Because anguish, misery, and suffering is part of the wholeness. And you're never going to get away with that, get away from that as a human. You can't just divorce anguish and suffering and fear and all that stuff. Because it's the contrast of bliss, joy, and all that stuff. Think of it like a movie. When you first watch a movie, the movie is not making itself. as it goes. The movie's already finished. The movie is already finished. You're only looking at the beginning of the movie, and you watch it throughout its duration. But the movie was already finished before you finished it. There was no need that the movie would somehow fly away before, or somehow not get made. Hence is your destiny. It is already finished. You're already there. You're already here, and you're already now. There's nothing else to be done. That doesn't mean you don't have to do things. That doesn't mean you just sit in a cave somewhere and live, and just be in meditation. Not that that's wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that's quite an undersung thing. A very undersung thing, the ascetics, the people who do that, I don't think, I think I'll probably be among their number, towards the end of my life. But, it's not that I'm against someone going in a cave and, finding complete samadhi or whatever. I have no qualms with that whatsoever. But you don't have to do that for it to already be finished. There's nothing to do. You're waiting for life to bring you to that climax. But the climax is already there. It was already there before you were born. It was already there while you're alive. And it was already there after you're dead. The whole thing is complete and whole. You can't really detract the wholeness of existence. I mean, we can judge each other and say, oh, this person, this dogma, that dogma. But that's all bullshit. That's all just perspective, and perspective is garbage. I just want to tell everyone, it's finished. You don't have anything else to do. Just really be here. Be here. Roll with it. There's a flow that comes to a person who knows that it is finished. When you don't worry about anything at all. Because you accept everything. And no. Not just the pretty things. Not just the nice things. Not just the friendly things. I'm talking everything. Because if you point your finger and say this is bad, and you point it the other way and say this is good, you're not accepting everything. You're falling into the time trap. Most human beings go their whole lives in that time trap. And accepting everything goes really deep. If you really look at what accepting everything means, it doesn't just come from without, it's from within. You're not just accepting the entire world as it is, as you see. You're accepting everything you are. Accepting it all. And again, not just the pretty stuff. Accept your demons. Accept your skeletons. Accept the worst thing you've ever done in your life. Accept the worst thing you've ever done in your life just as open-heartedly as you accept the best thing you've done in your life. There's a real power in full acceptance. And it's so potent. You can't be budged. You can't be shook. Because you're the foundations of the entire universe. What can bother you? Cue in the psychoanalyst. Oh, that's megalomania. That's megalomania. You know, every psychoanalyst wannabe out there, seriously, y'all can kiss my ass. If you really want to be a limited, fragmented, miserable human being, subjugated to the sad and pathetic ideas of psychoanalysis, that's your problem. That's not mine. They want you to think it's bad to be unlimited. Egos want to cage other egos. So when you shake the cage, they call you things like a megalomaniac. When you refuse your limitations, when you hear the voices of the logos, they'll call you a schizophrenic. You don't have to be accepted by anyone to accept everything. I don't. I could care less what anyone's interpretation on me is, because everything a person sees about another person is bullshit. Just complete hogwash. Don't be burdened by other people's perspectives. And don't be burdened by psychoanalysis. Don't be burdened by anything at all. Just let it all go. Let it go. When you release your limited ideas of yourself, and you release your limited ideas of others, the only thing you're left with is unlimited fortune. I wrote a song a while ago. Life will never have lasting bliss. No good thing in mortality forever exists. There's always heavy seasonal changes through all the regions and throughout the ages. Time, it never will stand still. It won't wait for you to get your thrills. Set your mind to eternity and find that peace exponentially. And then your eyes will truly see. The fog will clear and the veil will cease. Look inside. You know it's true. Eternal fortune right in front of you. Now, I was young when I wrote that shit. I didn't really know what I was writing. It was pure inspiration. I didn't live that. I just felt it was right. Because when you consult the logos, you from a well of wisdom deeper than yourself. But what amazes me, when I wrote that, I thought it was just, you know, your average platitudes or whatever, you know. But when you revisit something like that you've written years later, and then you actually understand what you wrote, it's an amazing thing. Look inside. You know it's true. Eternal fortune right in front of you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a saint. I don't care if you're a murderer. I don't care what you are. That is true for you. It is finished. It is finished. It is finished.